And I actually want to bring up that point because the concept of mad is something that people have been discussing here. That nobody's going to go to war with Russia or America because they have nuclear bombs. Well, this is the concept that that hybrid war has completely popped. Right, the whole idea of hybrid war is that there no longer is a clear gap between this is war, this is an existential threat, and now we're going to have nukes, and this is peacetime, and we're just going to have normal politics. Hybrid war opens up that gray space in between, right? So let me just give some examples of what I mean by this. One thing could be electronic warfare, right? Hacking. Another thing could be subversion through culture, as we love to talk about. Another thing could be, for example, salam. Yeah, it's sanctions. Yes, exactly. And then another one could be salami slicing, right? Look at India and China. Look at the border there. China's strategy has been they move forward about a half a foot a day. They just grab 6 inches here, 6 inches there. They're never at war, but they are gaining ground in the area that they claim, and they're moving the line of actual control. It does happen, and India is now revving up and pushing back against that. Same thing in the South China Sea, building these artificial islands, right? So the point is that doesn't just because Russia has nuclear bombs is not the guarantee of security, right? That is the guarantee of nuclear security against total destruction. It's the guarantee that if the U.S. goes and starts sending carpet bombing Moscow, that won't happen because of nukes. But it doesn't protect you from hybrid war, and that is the future of a lot of wars. I mean, look at this war, right? It was a hybrid war from 2014 to 2022. To some degree, it still is a hybrid war because we're not, NATO is not in Ukraine. It is simply funneling weapons into Ukraine. Is this not a hybrid war? There's no nuclear threat. There's no nuclear bombs flying, as far as I know.
And don't forget what Alan was saying earlier about the internal risk, because you could have a color revolution. And I think a lot of countries in the world actually is their main fear. The color revolution. And what I'm waiting is for a country from the East to try to do the same thing in the Western country. Sooner or later, they're going to try.
Are you talking about interfering in the internal affairs? Because I didn't quite get it. You're saying, Shadow, are you there?
Yeah, color revolutions are particularly dangerous because they usually grip on actual social issues that are occurring in the countries. So there's usually a dissatisfied population that can be incited through whatever random event, and then suddenly you get extremists that take over the situation, which obviously can overpower the dissatisfied population that sort of legitimizes the movement. And so every country has issues, and it's not that difficult to push a little bit over the edge those issues and get this huge uprising that then gets rapidly co-opted by whatever interests are actually behind that destabilization maneuver.
I think the U.S. uses the just as a broad blanket the global homo agenda as a way to gain access into countries. They create these multiple agendas, then they go to these countries and convince a group of people that they're part of this oppressed group, and then that's their foot in the door to come in and take whatever they want to take or do whatever they want to do. I mean, it's very disingenuous. I mean, they actually, these people actually think the state cares for them, and it's like, no, you're just a convenient wedge issue to get into these countries. Whatever social, economic, or political thing that they can throw under the global homo agenda, they just use it as a shoehorn to get into these countries. They find something. They'll find you're an environmentalist, you're LGBT, you're whatever. They've got something for you. They've got an NGO that can come in and help. And then the next thing you know, there's a problem. I mean, I'm not saying those people don't exist in all the countries, but they're probably encouraged from the outside, because it's convenient. Well, what are you against people's human rights? That's what we do. We go around. That's what we always. Oh, throw it in our face. Oh, you don't care about the climate. You don't care about penguins. What are you, some kind of monster? And then, next thing you try to go along with it, but maybe you can't really afford to do the full green thing. And the next thing you know, you're not going fast enough for Lindsey Graham, and you got to have Victoria Nuland call up and pick your replacement.
Exactly. Can I add something?
I think it's more about them getting paid. That the whole thing is just them to get into countries to figure out what they could fucking steal.
Yeah.